Friends, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Last year, 2020, it was my first time paying legit money for a planner. Like usually I'll just go to Target and I'll pick up a planner that's like, I don't know, $10, $15. They're super cheap at Target and they're pretty nice planners, so don't get me wrong. But last year was my first time actually paying legit money for a nice planner. For context, this is what last year's planner looked like. It's cute, right? It's a vibe, it's a vibe. In this video, you are gonna get to see my 2021 planner unboxing, and this is like a legit unboxing because I have not opened it. I've been waiting to record this video for y'all. I'm also gonna do a planner flip through so that you can get a sense of what is inside, just in case you are interested in buying this one. By the way, this video is not sponsored. I am just a fan of the brand and of the founders, who are two Black women who are also my sorority sisters. So shout out to Brittany and Tanisha, the founders of HerSpace Co and the creators of the Layered Living Planner. The thing that I love most about this planner is that it's one that you can actually use. I can actually use this, and not just to plan my week or my day, but to really intentionally plan my whole life. So I'm really excited to dive in and show you what it's all about. Let's go. So I have already taken the pack out of the box, and both of these strings were intact when they arrived, but as I was cutting it out of the box, you know, my bad. It comes in this beautiful dust bag that reads, "First, I plan, then when necessary, I pivot." Pivoting was something that I think the company did really well last year as things shifted early on in Q2. So I think that the concept of pivoting definitely went into the design of the planner this year. They even created a separate pivot suite of products that you could get in addition to the planner. I chose not to get that, but here you can see what you see when you open the dust bag. So let's see what's inside this 2021 playbook. Y'all ignore my nails because I honestly just don't have time. Thank you for your purchase. Thank you. So this is just a little booklet that gives some inspiration and guidance about, like I said, planning and then pivoting, and recognizing that pivoting is not always an easy process, but can be done. So can't wait to dive into that a little further. Oh, I forgot about the planner party. They do these virtual planner parties to help build more of a community through the HerSpace family around the Layered Living Planner. I did not attend the planner party this year, but it was really fun last year. Highly recommend it if you get this planner in the future. And this is just a little blurb about Tanisha and Brittany. I had a chance to speak with them on my podcast a few years back, and they're awesome. The planner is wrapped in protective bubble wrap, so we can pull that out. It is also wrapped in protective plastic, which I'm here for. The planner is made in China, as you can see, which I can only imagine how crazy the manufacturing process was this year with everything going on. So shouts out to y'all for getting it done. All right, this is it, guys. The Layered Living Planner for 2021. First couple of pages are a letter from Brittany and Tanisha, and then also a place here to write your name. So it would say, "I am Megan and I am a modern woman." And then we jump right into the layers. The Layered Living Planner is divided into 12 different layers. These layers reflect like the layers of the modern woman. The 12 layers are dreamer, lover, organizer, evolver, glamour, explorer, survivor, creator, leader, investor, giver, and believer. In regards to what you're supposed to do with those layers or how you act on them, there are 4 components to the layered system. Those 4 components are: lead your layers, live out your layers, lean into your layers, and learn from your layers. So leading your layers is all about planning your year. That's what you might typically think about when you are using a planner or when you're doing goal setting for the year. Live out your layers is about developing intentional habits that are specific to those layers so that you can improve in those areas of your life. Lean into your layers is all about assessing the progress that you're making, and then learning from your layers is all about taking a look back at the end of the quarter or the month or the year and reflecting on that time period, the things that went well, the things that could have done better. So that is like the 4 component system that allows you to take those layers implement habits that are specific to those layers, and then watch the improvement and reflect on that on the other side. So you will see throughout the planner that each of these layers is assigned to a different month. We will talk about that a little bit more in a bit. This whole first section is dedicated to actually planning out your layers. You plan out your layers before you even get to the months in the planner. So here, dreamer and exercises for dreamer, lover and exercises for lover. So basically you have these individual sheets, and I won't show you all of them. I'm not gonna put all their business in the streets, but there are exercises that go with each layer that really help you think about how you want to attack that layer for the year, and start flushing out ideas that pertain to those layers, so you know how to kind of think about them as you go through the year. At the end of that section is a page for your word of the year. They encourage you to create a word that kind of guides your intentions and your efforts and your desires for the year, and this is a space to write it. I'll show y'all my word of the year from last year. Okay, so this is last year's planner. Okay, last year my word of the year was help. It was an acronym that stood for hire, to eliminate unnecessary tasks and profit more. Basically, my goal was to outsource the hell out of my life so that I could focus on business related things and increase profits. And it ended up being one of those like God jokes that God might think is funny, but we don't think is funny, because it turned out that I really could not outsource hardly anything because of the panini. And they also assign a layer to each month, but this is not written in stone, so I'll talk a little bit more about that later. One thing I love is that at the end of every quarter, according to the calendar year, there is a space for assessing your progress in each of your layers and reflecting. And so you see that for each quarter, and then you see another section for the end of the year. I will show you what a week looks like in the actual planner portion. So first you have your monthly calendar, and you have space over here to jot down certain things. And then this is what each weekly page looks like. So there is always a prompt down here, like some activity that you can do, and this prompt always ties back to whatever that layer was for the month. So you see this one says write a letter about your dreams. This month's layer is dreamer. So you will see these little prompts at the bottom of each week, which I actually do and enjoy. And then there's also space here to the side for random notes, space here for more to-dos, and then you have each column that pertains to the days for the weeks. One complaint that I hear from people is that there's not enough space, and my schedule is like ridiculously busy, and there are weeks when like this little area is actually jam-packed, or I will use the overflow. But you know, that's kind of a personal preference that you have to think through. So that's what the week looks like. Like I said, I don't want to show you all of the prompts and exercises and whatnot, because Tanisha and Brittany worked really hard on this planner, and I don't think it's fair for me to just like blast it in the streets. But hopefully being able to see this, and at least being able to see a couple of those layers, has given you some insight into what the planner is like. One of the questions that I have received from people who have purchased the planner, like friends of mine who I've told about it and they bought it this year, they get the planner and then they're really excited, and then they're like, wait, so what do I do with the layers? It can be overwhelming. If you feel like you have to tackle all of the layers, then that can be overwhelming, because there's only so much time, energy, bandwidth we have. But when I spoke with the founders a couple of years ago, one of the beautiful things that came of that conversation was the emphasis on the fact that these layers are customizable to the individual woman. So if you decide that you only want to take one of those layers and you want to straight kill it this year, that is perfectly fine. You don't have to dive deep into those other layers. It helps to be aware of them and to kind of have them in the back of your mind. But if you want to focus on just one, that's cool. Some people will focus on 1 or 2 layers per quarter, and so they will not worry about the other ones until they get to them. Some people will do a layer a month, and they might not do the suggested layers that are in the planner for that month. They might choose their own layer to focus on that month. So there are all kinds of ways that you can approach the layers and tackle them. It's really just up to you and what you have identified as your goals for yourself in the year. If you need any help around goal setting, goal planning, you should check out my previous video where I show how I created my goal board for the year and how I kind of divide that up. If you watch that video already, you know that I divide my year up into categories of health. And so I mesh those categories together with the layers because those layers kind of fit into each of them. And I kind of tackle my year that way. To be honest, last year was my first year getting the planner, 2020, and I did a great job from January through March. And then in March, the whole world spun out of control. And like most people, I did not touch my planner for months. Like literally, there are probably 4 months of complete blank space in that planner, like did not open it at all. And then when I did start using it again, I wasn't focusing on the layers because I was still in survival mode. I'm still like halfway in survival mode. So like, I don't know how deep I'm gonna be going on these layers this year, but I don't think that our present state is going to be changing very much in the very near future. And so I don't want to continue to neglect some of those layers that I did neglect last year. And so I think the planner will help me figure out how in this environment, in this setting, I can still focus on some of those things. I'm not gonna be going crazy, but I can do something. So guys, it's January 9th when I'm recording this, and I know because I saw on their Instagram that supplies are getting really, really low. So if you are interested in purchasing the planner, that's probably something you want to do sooner than later. Again, this video is not sponsored. I don't get any kickbacks. I just think it's a great product, and I think they are two great founders, two awesome Black women. If you are thinking about investing in a nice planner this year, I would put this one high up on your list. You can find them on their website if you Google HerSpace Co, or you can follow them on Instagram at HerSpace Co. And while you're at it, if you're not already following me on Instagram, I'm at MultiPassionateMeg. Go ahead and connect there. If there were any questions that you had about the planner that I did not answer, drop them in the comments below and I will answer them to the best of my ability. All right, I'll see y'all next time.